I'm Renee Cordes with The Deal in Brussels, speaking with EU Competition Commissioner Margrethe Vestager. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Now, you're still in your first 100 days in your role. What should companies know about you and your approach?
Well, maybe first of all that I think that competition is a question of fairness. For small businesses to experience that they can enter the market, for those who've been there for a long time, that they can make sure that, well, they're actually being listened to. But I think it is a very important point to make that we will enforce competition law, because it's the best for businesses, it's the best for consumers.
And in your confirmation hearing, you specifically mentioned energy and digital companies. You said that dominant companies should be made to respect competition rules. How will this play out in scrutiny of mergers among the large players in these sectors?
Well, I think it is very important to be thorough and to be fact-based, and therefore, of course, to do market analysis. But also to have a very sort of open ear for people who have insights, complainants, how do they actually see the market? And then, of course, be precise and procedure that if we have to go fast ahead, we'll do that. If we have to reconsider, well, then we'll do that.
And what about the telecoms sector? We've had a number of deals that have been approved, but only under very strict conditions, particularly in situations where you're going from 4 to 3 players. Will the Commission continue to look for far-reaching conditions in those types of deals?
Well, I think the short answer is yes. Because it's very important to balance, have a balanced approach here. But for consumers, it is absolutely essential that there is competition. I think we had almost like a textbook example of the need for competition. There was announced a merger in Denmark, and immediately the stock price of the incumbent went up. And the analysis was pretty obvious. Well, the incumbent will think that competition now goes down when competitors actually merge. And I think that's a very good reminder that we have to be sort of very thorough looking at mergers to make sure that the consumer will still have a wide choice, different prices, high quality, innovation. Because basically competition is a vehicle for choice, for innovation, and for price and quality to match each other.
Does a 4 to 3 situation automatically raise red flags with you? There is a deal being discussed right now in the UK that would create that situation. Is that something that raises alarm bells in your head immediately?
Well, at least I get concerned because I do not think that it's an ideal situation to have very few, very large companies, especially not in a situation where the markets are still very national. Because even though we have worked on getting roaming prices down and opening more, the markets are still very national. So even though companies would like to grow bigger and consolidate, from a consumer point of view, it is very important that we enhance competition.
And speaking of remedies, we've had since November at least 6 phase 1 clearances with conditions. Now, is this a sign of, and I'm not talking about telecoms cases, no, but cases in a number of other fields. Is this a sign maybe that companies are getting smarter about remedies, or is there growing pressure to tackle these issues early on, as soon as the clock starts ticking, and in some cases even well before?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think that companies are being more and more sort of experienced, gaining more experience, more insight as to what will be the questions, the demands in order to enhance competition, and doing a lot of work before the real notification. And that also enables us to get to know the market and the companies much better. And therefore, we can be speedily in the first phase process, which I think is very good for everyone, because then the companies can go on, and both for consumers but also for employers. actually to know what is going to happen with my company. So I think using pre-notification and for the companies to be...
Even if the pre-notification gets longer and longer?
Even if that may be the case, because that enables us to find a solution which is, has market conformity and which still serves the company and the purpose for the merger.
Now, it has been a while. I think it has not since 2013 that we've seen a merger prohibition here. Is the prohibition era over?
No, of course not. It's in the treaty, but for me it's very important to have a case-by-case approach, because markets are different, mergers are different, and I think it would be maybe even illegal, but at least a very bad idea to start working with quotas. To say, now we have used up all our sort of goodwill, now we need to be tough on the next merger. That doesn't work. It has to be an open, fair, neutral process, and I think that is the point. Not a question of whether prohibitions are out or not, but what are the cases coming in on our desk.
Right. One final question. The Juncker Commission, one of its priorities is to bring back jobs and growth to Europe. So as the EU's top antitrust enforcer, what is your role in that? How do you fit into that?
Well, actually, in several respects, because my services, of course, hold a lot of concrete knowledge about how does the market work in telecoms, in pharmaceuticals, in a number of different sectors. So we, of course, chip in, share knowledge, share ideas about how can we enhance energy market, digital single market, how can we contribute to investment to happen. And that is sort of the broad scope of competition knowledge. And in a smaller respect, I think we can help as well to enable people to see, for instance, state aid rules as something which will qualify your decision instead of being a barrier to investment. And in that, I think competition, growth and jobs, it's a very, very good match.
On that note, thank you very much, Commissioner, for joining us. For The Deal in Brussels, I'm Renee Cordes.